My question, General Bishambar Dayal, sir. And we have been speaking about the standoff, we've been speaking about diplomacy, about the armed forces. Now, sir, my question is slightly different. Over a period of years and years, what we have seen, even since independence, if I may take the liberty, and nothing has changed ever for the army, the armed forces have always been divorced from India's foreign policy. Now, China doesn't do that. America doesn't do that. The armed forces are always a very potent part of their foreign policy. We have seen governments come and go. But one thing has been absolutely standard and certain, that the armed forces are away from foreign policy of the country. Do you think we will pay a price in future, and currently we are paying a price for this?
Gaurav, you are stretching to foreign policy. Let's hit at the national security setup. We have been deprived. You don't even have a deputy NSA today with the government of India when you are the only country in this world which has got live border, two adversaries always breathing on your neck. So that's my take. That's my give, actually. So let's not. I think it's a big gambit. Army should have been involved in diplomacy. It is involved up to a colonel level, brigadier level. You do have military attaches. They do talk to their ambassadors, and we have a very professional. Let me tell you, yesterday I was mistaken. By the audience, or even by Arnab. We have a very professional diplomatic corps. Very professional. Believe you me, they are the best. So that is a different field altogether. But today's issue, Gaurav, I want to come back to where you were doing, where General Malik. I want to just focus on one issue. See, today, it's not, I fully agree that I don't think we expect today anything major to come out. But let me tell you, if today the GOC 14 Corps conveys his point in a soldierly manner to his counterpart, then it will carry a huge impact on future course of this entire thing going to take place. In military to military, there's nothing to give, Gaurav. And that's why probably we are not part of the diplomat. A military man, a military leader, he has nothing to give. If he has lost even an inch of territory, he has to take it. If somebody has intruded into his territory, which we all are assuming, we all are perceiving, everybody has got different perception, everybody has got different feedback. But if Chinese have intruded anywhere in his territory, then GOC 14 Corps is the right man to know how much he has come, where all he has come, what has he violated. We don't have to fall into Chinese trap by saying that we don't have perception about LC. 1962 war ended at Sirpas base. At finger 8, there was nobody. At ridge 8, beyond that, ended, period. Beyond that, it is our territory. There is no question, and GOC 14 Corps should be aware of that. Till finger 3, we have a ITBP post. We have been patrolling this area. He has been coming into our land, and he has to be stopped. And let me tell you, the only way to stop is for GOC 14 Corps today to make it emphatically clear to him that, look, I am the boss there, I am the commander there. Your men have violated, this is where you have violated. He should be told very clearly, and then should be given a period. I'm not in this that you talk. See, at diplomatic level, why diplomacy succeed? Something give and take. If you take something, you have to give something. Why political leadership at political level talks are big? Well, there is nothing. There are handshakes, there is everything, and hunky-dory, and we really don't know what comes out, prolonged. At military level, there is nothing like that. At military level, there is a clear-cut line. Either it is violated or not violated. So I come back to the issue that today, GOC 14 Corps in his talk must lay a solid ground, must give a time-bound framework to his opponent, and must act, I would say. He must act. If he has to act unarmed, he must act unarmed. If he has to act, firstly, we are one of the most trained army. We are one of the most. I'm just referring to an issue for the nation. When Kargil happened, and General Malik spoke about it, so I want to just pitch in with that. When Kargil happened, me and Brigadier Devraj were in Moscow. I was assistant military attaché. In a military attaché club where we were almost one day, almost 80, 90 people, I interacted with many assistant military, deputy military attaches who were lieutenant colonel and colonel. And believe you me, each one of them said, Bishambar, what Indian Army is doing in Kargil is not possible in today's world. It is a charge of the Light Brigade. It is like marched into the valley of death. Your soldiers are salute. We salute your soldiers, and believe you me, people will fear Indian Army. Chinese fear you man to man. You have young leaders to lead. There's nothing to fear. Just support them. And one more thing. We need to build our capability. We need to build our cyber capability. We need to build our intelligence capability. We need to build our capability at 3 div, at 14 core in terms of day-to-day information. Somewhere there will be, we know the terrain is very difficult. We know that we cannot hold each piece of ground. We know there are gaps. We know because the terrain is so difficult. We are operating from 14 to 18,000 feet. And in that, the terrain is very difficult.
That's the underlying sentiment. Well, Major General, that's the underlying sentiment that today what the Chinese army is essentially facing is not the same Indian army of 1962, not to forget what really happened in 1967. But I would also like to apologize to our other guest, Saurabh Shukla, as well as Colonel Shailendra Singh. I'm running short of time, but I need to slip into a short break. On the other side, I'll come back to you.